Dante, and today it is Podcast Tuesday once again. Time for a sideboard guide. First time I'm doing a sideboard guide in my podcast. I think maybe I've done it before, maybe and I don't recall doing so. But well, basically, yeah. It's time for a sideboard guide, and yeah. We have a combo. I mean, hard combo to assemble, but I mean, you need like 11 devotion for that to work or something. But it does win the game as well. A non-bow. It's a pioneer, but yeah. And also we got the actual sideboard guide. I put a deck list on the screen, and then like on text, not I couldn't get the images, but yeah, we'll basically start the sideboard guide, and yeah, it's just good. So yeah, let's go to the combo first, and it is. Alright. Hard one to assemble, but you need Nick Foles, the 11 Devotion, Karn, and Kiora. Well, Karn will get you the Chain Veil, likely. You know what I mean? And then with Karn, you can get like the Pestilent Cauldron, Stone Brain. So Pestilent Cauldron's gonna allow you to like retrieve your Cure and Karn, because you're gonna basically activate the Karn and Cure lots of times to get like a lot of mana, and you'll end up killing them off. But then like basically ends up with basically the combo ends with both players having infinite life and the opponent having no cards left in hand, deck, or graveyard by just exiling them all with the Stone Brain. That's basically the combo. So yeah, it's just a win. It's just win on spot if you assemble one of these cards. That's basically just it. And yeah, now for a non-bow, I don't know if that will be a non-bow or not, but it's gonna nerf its full potential. So like, let's go to non-bow. Alright. Painful Truths and Goblin Electromancer. So Goblin Electromancer is gonna reduce the cost of Painful Truths by 1. So you can at most pay 2 mana for it. So it'll only draw you 2 cards, lose 2 life, basically like a sorcery speed version of Sign in Blood or something like that. You know, that I'm pretty sure that's instant speed as well. But yeah, basically Goblin Electromancer just suppresses the full potential of Painful Truths. And if you increase the mana cost, you could increase the full potential of Painful Truths. So yeah, that's basically a non-bow. I don't know, but well, now it's time for, we're gonna have a small break, and then we're going to go into the sideboard guide. So here we go. We're just gonna run a little ad break. So this is the list. Just a simple list. I mean, we got DM, here's the vigor, you know, all of the grazers. We put one Azusa in there. Honestly, don't really need more. Just a legendary creature, and arguably could work without Azusa at all. 2 cultivator crosses, really good win con. We got our Dryad, we got the expedition map, Generous End, Handwear Battlements is our haste land. Because, well, I mean, some people are using the Slayer Stronghold, but nah, Battlement's better. Because, well, I'll just explain it to you. You know, Battlement, you just use with Valakut alone is enough. The Stronghold, you need the Boros Garrison bounce land, and you need to bounce a land, and you won't have like a Valakut out. So yeah, and but yeah, there's also the 4 Primeval Titans, of course. 4 Summers Pact. We got 3 to 1 ring. We don't need more of those. Arguably 2 1 rings are enough, but it's just a legendary, and it's just 2 Boseijus. We need something to take down main board. Blood Moon. 2 Castle Garen Break. Really good way of getting Titan early in the game. 2 Caverns gains control, that is very necessary. A Crumbling Vestige. 3 Forests, 2 Gruul Turfs. A Radiant Fountain. 3 Selesnya Sanctuaries. 4 Simic Grove Chambers. A Sun Home to give the double strike. 2 Mikasynth Gardens. We don't need more than that. It's copies, like, because already when you have 1 out, and then there's the artifact, you just copy it. But we got Terraria West as well to search for Pact. 1 of them, maybe 2 is necessary, but I think 1 for now is enough. 4 Urza Saga, 2 Valakuts, and 1 Vesuva. And this is the sideboard, which is what we're looking at today. We got 2 Alpine Moons, 2 Dismembers, 2 Endurances, 2 Engineered Explosives, 2 Force of Vigor, 3 Hydroid Krasis. Yep, that is actually surprisingly useful. Use this against a control deck, and they can't counter the ability. You know, if the spell gets countered, the ability still goes through. Koglen Yidaro, also good, you know, against, like, serves as another Force of Vigor that late game can be used as a creature. And Questing Beast to pierce through a 1 ring, because the 1 ring is gonna bother you a lot, you know, and also the enemy of the 1 ring, Orcish Bowmasters, because you will draw a bunch of cards with the 1 ring and Cultivator. So yeah, we're gonna go in to our first deck. We have Rakdos Evoke, number 1 in the meta right now. And we take out 3 to 1 rings to put in 2 Force of Vigors and 1 Koglen Yidaro. Simple explanation. The 1 ring doesn't have much efficiency in this matchup, because they run a play set of Forces Bonus. I don't know if a play set, but let me just check, because last time I checked, I think not Pioneer, Modern. Oh my god, they had a play set of those, and they go to Rakdos mid range. The first card it has shows is just, yeah, 4 Orcish Bowmasters. They do use a play set. That's right. Yeah. All right. Play set. So yeah, take out the 1 ring, because they can just trap you, and you know, it's because basically you take 1 damage for using the ring. Like you basically you put the counters, draw cards, take damage, and take damage for like the burdens, and then the army's gonna hit you even so basically it triples the damage or something. But then with Force of Vigor, you can basically destroy the Blood Moon, because they use like 1 or 2 Blood Moons in the main board, and then they board in more Blood Moons. And then also you need Koga Nidar, so like as an extra. And I mean, the red in the cost isn't gonna really impact you, because if you have the green to destroy an artifact or enchantment, you definitely have the red as well because of Blood Moon. So yeah, and plus it's like, and additionally it allows you to shuffle Koga Nidar back in and draw cards, so you can reuse it later on. Maybe ends up being, maybe later on in the game you can cast them as a creature. So yeah, re cool. And it's my latest addition to the deck. Next up, Omnath decks. Now, if we go to Omnath decks, it's a different story. So we take out two the One Rings. We still leave one just in case, but and the Generosent, because Generosent is basically a perfect counter to those Blood Moon decks or Living End, because Living End, self-explanatory, you force cycle it and you have a 5/7 in your graveyard. And Blood Moon decks allows you to search for a basic forest, so you can use green mana and stuff. Now the One Ring, it just doesn't really help much against the deck, and plus with they can just exile it with Leyline Binding. You know, they have lots of ways to get around the ring itself, and like if they exile it, you know, I mean, you just cannot draw cards with it, because apparently I tried using the One Ring before, and my opponent just exiled it right in response to this, so I wasn't able to draw a card, and that was like the first time this happened. So I learned you could actually disable the One Ring, or not disable, nullify, you know, the One Ring by doing that. But all right, you can put in 2 Dismembers to kill off the Omnaths or some Elementals or something, and a Questing Beast to pierce through the One Ring. So yeah, this is basically what you need to do against Omnath decks, because Omnath decks, they play Elementals, and Convokes and stuff, but like they use a lot of capturing stuff, but it's a very slow deck. So if you can just get around their counter spells or other controlling stuff, you know, because they can just with 1 mana or 0 mana just capture out whatever you have, or just exile it. But still, if you just outspeed them or just not let them do anything, then you should be able to win this. And this is what you need for sideboarding. Now, against a Rhinos deck. Now for Cavern of Souls, it's actually it's interesting. You actually kind of need to remove Cavern of Souls, because, well, they have Blood Moon. So if Cavern of Souls just enters when the Blood Moon enters, and you cannot name the creature type. And also, they don't use counter spells that counter creatures. Like, the only counter spells they got are Force of Negation, and then this and Mystical Dispute, that they will sideboard out against you because you're not a blue deck. And then also the One Ring, because literally they just pull down the Rhinos like from out of nowhere, you know. So yeah, the One Ring doesn't really help in this matchup, because once they get the Rhinos down, you're just done for. Like, unless you can, like, well, actually, no. The One Ring doesn't. Let me just. I'm pretty sure the One Ring doesn't really help against the Rhinos deck, but yeah, there's honestly nothing like better to like remove. Maybe instead of the One Ring, you could leave one ring in there and remove a Souza from there. But honestly, they have the Questing Beast main board, so they'll just pierce through your ring easily. So there's no point. Well, apparently they stopped playing the the inevitable betrayal card in the sideboard. That's weird, but yeah. Yeah, basically, what you put in: two engineer explosives, self-explanatory. You just pop it on 0 and blow up all the rhinos. Yeah. Force of Vigor. They will use Blood Moon, some in mainboard, some just sideboard, but they will use it. And Cold and Yidar self-explanatory as well, same as Force of Vigor. But yeah, basically this is what you use against rhinos. Now for Yawgmoth. Surprisingly still alive. I remember when it was everywhere, but now like barely see people playing it. Well, out, you throw one cultivator out in the free One Rings because, well, they have Bowmasters as well. And I think they had Questing Beast, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me just check. Modern. Do they have Questing Beast? Because I think they do. Well, it's Yawgmoth's number 4 in the meta right now. No, they don't have Questing Beast in the sideboard. But they do have the One Ring itself. Wow. In the sideboard, not in the main board. To put in inside the deck, 2 Endurances and 2 Dismembers. Basically, but yeah, you use Dismember to kill the Yawgmoth. And Endurance to stop Yawgmoth or, Magus of the Moon. Because they will board in a Magus of the Moon. And, well, Endurance to stop Undying. Because it will, if you can just do it before it returns to the battlefield, just, send it back to the bottom of the deck, and there's no Undying effect. So, yeah, basically, that's just, wait, what? Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, let's just go to the next one. Murktide. Now, this deck, you just need take out a Souza because they will have a lot of removals for Souza. 2 Summoners Pact because you need to take out a few Summoners Pact because they will counter they could counter the card you search for, and then you end up with 0 mana. Also, Blood Moon as well. And, well, the One Ring, it just doesn't help much against this deck. I mean, if the opponent is able to cast Murktide Regen, nothing's gonna save you at this point. Like, not even the One Ring. So, using the One Ring to just buy yourself a bit of time, it's not gonna help. Just because the One Ring against an aggressive deck is actually good, like, or aggressive or combo deck is actually good because it stops them for 1 turn. But if you do it against slow deck, it will basically do nothing because they'll just you're giving them more time to build up a board. They're gonna build up more elementals or do something similar. So yeah, the One Ring doesn't really help in this situation. Now, Hydroid Crisis is a perfect substitute to the One Ring because um it also allows you to like, well, basically allows you to draw cards, and if the if it gets countered, I mean, you still get to draw the cards. So so yeah, Force of Vigor and Coglan Didar, same explanation. Just it basically kills the Blood Moons. Now you won't see much Murktide decks, but apparently it's still top 5 in the meta. But like above it, you have Rhinos that also uses Murktide and has a similar playstyle by using Blood Moons and stuff that just slow you down. So yeah, you're gonna need enchantment removals and stuff against Murktide. But yeah, that's basically what I got against Murktide. Now, next one. Hammer Time. Now, Hammer Time is also another similar deck that, well, the One Ring doesn't help in this situation at all, because they'll just pull up a hammer from out of nowhere. You're just giving them, you just give them more time. It's just the same thing, and basically you need to put in Force of Vigor and Coglan Yidar as well, because they are artifacts. Now, you could argue throwing in one Engineer Explosive by throwing in two Engineer Explosives. You could do that by throwing out the Azusa and the Ent, which allows you to just blow up the all the 1-drops that are just the hammers, the Sigarda's Aid, it just destroys basically a lot of stuff. But here's the issue. You also have a lot of 1-drops, basically the amulets. And also you're gonna have like maybe a few grazers that you're gonna need to block off a few hits from the hammer and the maps. But yeah, basically decide as you if you use Engineer Explosive, and if not, if you don't use Engineer Explosive, just throw one ring, one Azusa, and one Ent, or 2 rings and 1 Ent, because the removals they have are just either none or just Eds out, so they don't have like damage spells like Lightning Bolt or something like that. So yeah, you only need like you only need that. That's basically it. Now for the burn deck, in the past you basically didn't need to sideboard at all against burn. It's basically almost an instant win. I mean, only way you can lose is if you're going second and you lose game 1. But if you win game 1, you've won game 3 as well. Because if the opponent gets you on game 2, you win on turn. You win game 3 very easily. So yeah. But basically, burn, that you just decide what you want to remove. Like you could remove one Azusa and throw in one Krasis, maybe substitute. Oh no, remove one Azusa and throw in one Force of Vigor or Kogla and Yidaro, because they might use a Blood Moon. Maybe they just use Roiling Vortex, because now they're playing 4 Roiling Vortex main board, which stops you from using Summoner's Pact. Maybe you just remove the Summoner's Pact so that it doesn't affect you. And then you have like Hydroid Krasis that would just basically gain you life and draw you cards. So possibly substituting the 1 ring, but it's just, these are the 2 cards that you might end up putting against burn. But what you decide to throw out is up to you. There's no like, if you just throw away there's like every card, like almost every card in your deck is very useful against burn. So, or equally as useful. So throwing one or throwing the other out, it doesn't change much. These cards, however, do help you a lot against the burn decks because Force of Vigor can just destroy the the Vortex or the Blood Moon if they sideboarded in. In Hydroid cases, we'll draw cards and gain life. Now, it's not it. We have versus Hardened Scales. Climbing back up the meta, you will need to throw out 3 rings, 1 Susan, and 1 Ent. Throw in 2 explosives, because they'll have lots of 0 mana, 2 mana, 1 mana stuff, yeah. 2 Force of Vigors, and 1 Cognitive Doubt, because, well, artifacts and enchantments stuff. You could break the scales, you could break the modulars and stuff. Heck, maybe even break the sagas if needed. So, yeah. Game 1 should be a stomp in your favor, or actually depends on who goes first, and because scales can build up a board really quickly. But yeah, I think it depends on who goes first, because then second and third it's just gonna. But game 2 and game 3 is gonna depend on sideboard. Post sideboard is just gonna change everything. So yeah, that's basically the hardened. That's what you do against hardened scales. Now next one we have Living End. Now you throw away 2 Summoners Pacts because, well, they're gonna use Subtlety, so they could disrupt your Summoner's Pact by using a Subtlety, something similar, and yeah, basically, yeah. This time the ring actually does help you against Living End because they don't have anything to stop you, because once they did their thing of bringing back everything, they're basically defenseless. Their only defenses are their blockers. So if you just use the ring to buy yourself one more turn, you could basically get the combo. You just draw 3 cards and get yourself an instant turn. You just lose a life, but that's not gonna matter if you're gonna get one-shotted. And then you could just pull off a win from out of nowhere. Now, Endurance is gonna help you increase one creature that's gonna, you're gonna get one more creature in your graveyard, so when the yeah, basically Living End, you just it works both ways. It stops the opponent from getting the creature back. So when the opponent does Living End, you Endurance and evoke, throw away their graveyard to the bottom. Endurance hits your graveyard. Now all your creatures come back, and then you can just Endurance your graveyard back to the bottom, so you can reuse a few more cards. I mean, they go to the bottom, but chances are you will be using them because you shuffle the deck a lot. You search with Titan, you search with Pact, maybe less because, well, Pact is removed, but Saga will also shuffle. So yeah, cards in the bottom will eventually you eventually get to them. Now there were 15 decks in the meta, but since that will be a too long podcast, I cut it short to top 10 in the meta plus a mirror match. So this is the last one that we're covering from the meta. Tron deck. You just remove 3 rings because they have Karn that's gonna disable your 1 ring, and but yeah, basically the 1 ring's not gonna help you in this matchup because, well, it's an artifact. It's just gonna, they just have a lot of stuff that will just deal with the 1 ring, and, well, it just doesn't help against Tron. I mean, you won't be able to draw cards with it, and then if you have it stuck at 1 counter or 2 counters, it's just gonna do a constant pain without drawing cards. And of course, you throw in Force of Vigor and Koglan Yidar because they play artifacts and enchantments. You could just destroy them. So yeah, that's basically what you do against Tron decks. I mean, mono green Tron or Eldrazi Tron. Oh, currently Eldrazi Tron's not in the meta, but mono green Tron is. So basically, mono green Tron, Eldrazi Tron are almost the same. The difference is mono green is more artifact based and it has green mana, whereas Eldrazi Tron is purely colorless and it's more focused on the Eldrazi tribal. But they still do have artifacts and other stuff. So yeah, that's basically what you do against a Tron deck. Now for the mirror match, it's basically the last one for this podcast. Just throw out 2 Cavern Souls, because of course your deck's not running any counterspells. Why would the opponent have counterspells? Throw out the End. Blood Moon's just gonna kill you. Why would the opponent have it? So yeah, Azusa is just, well, it's not gonna really help much. I mean, it does allow you to ramp faster, but honestly, it just won't help much. And the Summer's Pact. But basically, because Summer's Pact, you have 4 of those, so you can just cut 1, and not much will change. But yeah, you just throw in 2 explosives, 2 Force of Vigors, and a Koglan Yidaro. It's engineer explosives. One dangerous thing is it will work both ways. So, if it blows up your if it blows up your amulets, the opponent's amulets will also be. It blows up your amulets and the opponent's amulets. Now, Force of Vigor, that works only one way. It will just destroy whatever amulet they have. And Koglan Yidaro, also same thing as Force of Vigor. And yeah, it's just... And also, not only does it help destroy artifacts and enchantments, it allows you to basically kill off a Titan. You just use it, ETB, fight the Titan, and yeah. Or not just Titan, just basically anything the opponent has, except for Cultivator. But yeah, that is basically what you put up in a mirror match. But yeah, honestly, that's basically about it. Oh wait, hang on, I forgot. Oh wait, take out Azusa and put I forgot. Wait, hang on. Alpine Moon. Almost forgot that was in the sideboard. Just put in Alpine Moon. You just put in Alpine Moon. Yeah, you put in Alpine Moon. Both of those. Yeah, just got Alpine Moon right there. And we just take out the End and the Azusa. You know, we just... See? That's basically what we need against. We put up 2 Alpine Moons because this will disrupt basically the Tron. So yeah. Yeah, basically that is basically it. You know, the entire sideboard guide now completed. And yeah, Tron, that's Alpine Moon is only there just for Tron decks. Honestly, it's just a moon that's one-sided and doesn't like affect you at all. But honestly, like, but yeah, but honestly, it doesn't really help against other matchups. Maybe like it disrupts domain, but it will give them more colors. So yeah, but we're in the mirror match. If you were to use Alpine Moon, you're just gonna use it on a land the opponent already has on the battlefield, like Saga or Valakut. just to kill off Sagas or disable Valakut. But then they will get more colors. So, yeah. Against a mirror match, Alpine Moon's not really that good, but against Tron, it literally just kills him. So, yeah. Anyways, congratulations. You've reached the end of the podcast. So why don't you like and subscribe and follow if you enjoy Chef Friends. Stay tuned for videos, streams, and podcasts. Podcasts will be live every Tuesday at 4:30 GMT. Stay tuned to them. Watch my other videos too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye.